I'm just an insignificant side character in this world. Holy crap, stop fighting. Everyone around me seems to have some kind of superpower. But only I know that my childhood friend, Chloe, is the future final boss who will destroy the world. To stop the world from being destroyed, all sorts of transmigrators, reincarnators, and strategists keep showing up to win her over. And as her childhood best friend, I'm completely ignored by these so-called male leads. Who's this guy? I can't remember his name. Me neither. Whatever, who cares? I'm basically invisible anyway. Even my own parents can barely remember my name, so there's no way I could be a threat to them. So, when I heard the new transfer student introduce himself, I just raised an eyebrow. Asterisk host, please gain the favor of the female lead, Chloe. You will receive corresponding rewards upon completion of the mission. Asterisk a smirk played on his lips, his inner thoughts a stark contrast to his modest self-introduction. Asterisk, I'm a master of romance. Watch me wrap her around my little finger in minutes. Asterisk I glanced at Chloe beside me and whispered, Chloe, did you hear that? Unless I'm deaf, I think I did. She paused, then asked, what? Is he your long-lost sister? It seems I'm the only one who can hear the transfer student's thoughts. I nodded thoughtfully, then immediately pushed it all to the back of my mind. Might as well just slack off. I'm just a minor character. I can't help much anyway. I just hope these strategists work hard and prevent the world from being destroyed. After class, I snatched Chloe's sandwich and started eating it. Just then, Julian Carter walked over to Chloe with a gift. This is a gift for my new classmate. Please accept it. Along with his words came a system notification and his inner voice. Asterisk, this target is gorgeous. Kissing her would definitely feel amazing. Asterisk I almost choked to death, letting out an uncontrollable cough. Chloe frowned, patting me lightly on the back, but her words were full of disdain. Even a pig eats more gracefully than you. I retorted indignantly, what's that supposed to mean? Have you ever raised a pig? Chloe glanced at me and said, I don't know about pigs, but you're definitely not as smart as one. Just then, Julian puffed out his cheeks and looked at us, feigning hurt. Chloe, you two are being a little mean, ignoring me like this. I felt a bit awkward and was about to apologize when I heard the furious voice in his head. Asterisk, system, who is this guy? Is he even in the novel? He's like a clown. Asterisk, host, calm down. He's just an expendable side character. Asterisk, a clownish side character? I sneered. Chloe also spoke up coolly, sorry. Then she took the box, which contained a beautifully packaged heart-shaped cookie. She smiled at Julian. I'm so sorry, I'm allergic to cookies. Julian's voice was laced with disappointment. Oh, is that so? Are you allergic to anything else? I can bring you something different tomorrow. Chloe added nonchalantly. To be precise, I'm allergic to people. Even an idiot like Julian could tell Chloe was rejecting him. He gave an awkward laugh. Sorry to bother you. Just when I thought he'd be discouraged, he got even more excited. Asterisk, damn, system. She really is an S-tier heroine, so completely dismissive, but I like it, especially since she's so beautiful. Asterisk my mouth twitched. These transmigrators didn't seem very bright. During the next gym class, I sat under a tree reading a novel. Chloe was lying with her head in my lap, listening to music with her eyes closed. I watched a group of students laughing and fooling around as they sat down by the next tree. Hey, let me tell you, I heard Chloe is the one who announced to the whole school at the freshman orientation that she wasn't interested in dating and told everyone not to bother her. No way, that's so icy. I thought so too at first, but you wouldn't say that if you saw her in person. She has that kind of look people post about online, the one who defined your youth type. I looked down at this one who defined others' youth lying in my lap. She was sleeping soundly with her eyes closed. I was just about to reach out and touch her when Chloe slowly opened her eyes. I calmly took the earbud out of her left ear and pouted, "Get up, my leg's asleep." Chloe rubbed her eyes, slowly sat up, and started massaging my leg, complaining as she did, "It's too bony. It wasn't comfortable to sleep on." I stood up and brushed the grass off my clothes. "Not as stubborn as your mouth. You clearly wanted me to eat more but had to be all roundabout about it." Chloe glanced at the novel in my hand and asked, "Why are you reading this stuff?" "I'm curious. I want to see what the male leads in these domineering CEO novels are like." Chloe covered her mouth and chuckled. "You're already dumb enough. Don't read yourself into becoming even dumber." After school, the sky turned gloomy, and before long, the pitter-patter of rain began. Chloe and I stood under the eaves, staring at each other. I ventured, "What do you think are the chances of us running back without getting our hair wet?" Chloe said, "Probably 100%. I was thrilled. "You have a way? Quick, tell me." Chloe was perfectly calm. "I'll twist your head off for you, run back, and then screw it back on." I said sarcastically, "Oh, thanks a lot." She smiled. "You're welcome." Before I could retort, a man's voice interrupted me. "Miss, you don't have an umbrella? If you don't mind, you can use this one." Chloe and I turned to see Julian Carter holding an umbrella, staring intently at Chloe. Chloe's tone was lazy. "No thanks." Julian's eyes flickered, looking misty as he said, It's okay. Please take it, Chloe. It's raining so hard. It would be bad if you caught a cold. At the same time, I heard his inner thoughts. Asterisk, no woman can resist being called big sister. Asterisk, I pictured him calling Chloe big sister and couldn't help but rub the goosebumps on my arms, then glanced at Chloe curiously. Her face was completely blank. Sorry, classmate, I don't recall having a younger brother. My mom always told me not to accept things from strangers. For a split second, Julian's expression turned vicious before he instantly recovered. You're so funny, Chloe. I had to admire how fast he could change his expression. Seeing that Chloe remained as cold as ever, he could only grit his teeth and say, well then, I won't bother you. He turned and ran off into the rain, and I heard him roaring in his mind, asterisk, just you wait, I'll be back. My methods are flawless. There's definitely something wrong with this heroine. Asterisk, seeing our potential ride home disappear, I asked, now what? Chloe waved her phone at me. I called the driver. 5 minutes later, Chloe and I were in the car. I asked her with a grin, so, how does it feel to be called big sister? Chloe replied with a mischievous glint in her eye. Why don't you try calling me that first? I shot back without mercy. In your dreams. Chloe pouted. Stingy. I gave her a sympathetic look. With that cold and unapproachable image of yours, you're really going to end up alone. Chloe smirked. Don't worry. If I end up alone, I'm definitely taking you with me. I couldn't help but shake my head and sigh from the bottom of my heart. You're probably what they call a mute girlfriend online, right? You'd be quite charming if you couldn't talk. Chloe said coolly. And you'd probably be quite smart if you had a brain. I sighed internally again. Not only a sharp tongue, but petty too. She's a lost cause, a total lost cause. The driver looked at us with a smile. You two are still such good friends. I was confused. Is a relationship where you don't care if the other person lives or dies considered good? Meanwhile, Julian Carter, embracing a the more you fight, the braver you get mentality, woke up early to get ready. He was very satisfied with the hairstyle he had specially styled that morning. The system told him Chloe was at the basketball court. Arriving at the court, he scanned the area a few times but didn't see Chloe. He frowned and asked the system, asterisk, didn't you say Chloe was at the basketball court? Asterisk, asterisk, hint, she's watching the game under the tree on the left. Asterisk, Julian focused his gaze and saw Chloe in a white floral dress, sipping a milk tea, with me standing beside her, having just finished playing basketball. Just then, Julian walked over, saying excitedly, what a coincidence, Chloe. You're here watching basketball too. Then, in his mind, he cursed me out with every word he could think of. Asterisk, why is this damn side character always here? What a suck-up. Asterisk, I was already used to Julian cursing me in his head, just secretly lamenting that there was no drama for me to enjoy. Chloe asked, who are you? He scratched his head awkwardly. Chloe, don't joke around. It's me, Julian Carter. I could clearly hear his inner breakdown. Asterisk, holy crap. System, this world has to be SSS rank difficulty, right? I've never met a woman as heartless as her. Asterisk, asterisk, to be blunt. Tomorrow is the final day of the mission. Please try your best, host. Otherwise, we will retract your rewards, which will significantly impact your next conquest. Asterisk, Julian gritted his teeth, racking his brain for a long time without coming up with any good ideas. In the past, he never had to do much. The targets would come to him. At most, he'd encounter a slightly colder one, but they'd be infatuated with him within 2 days. But Chloe was like a block of wood. None of his tricks worked, and he was only left fuming. Since it had come to this, he had to resort to a tactic he'd previously scorned. Julian suddenly turned to me, who was watching the show from the side, and said, excuse me, could you give us a moment? I have something I want to say to Chloe. I nodded. Sure, you two talk. Seeing me leave, Chloe's expression grew even colder, and her words were blunt. Classmate, I don't know how I've offended you, but since we're here, I want to make it clear. Stop bothering me. With that, she turned to leave. Julian got anxious and quickly moved to block Chloe's path. I like you. I've liked you since the first time we met. I hope you can give me a chance to pursue you. Chloe's eyes were indifferent. Are you done? If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. Julian shivered and swallowed hard. Really, look at me. I'm in good shape. I'm not bad looking. Just give me a chance. Julian looked up at the woman in front of him who was dry heaving, his face filled with embarrassment. Chloe's stomach churned. She stood up without even glancing at him, tossed out the word, disgusting, and left Julian standing there, utterly devastated. In the classroom, I stared at the door. Why wasn't Chloe back yet? Did something happen? No, wait, I should be worried about Julian, right? Nothing could possibly happen to Chloe. Even though I thought that, my face was grim and my heart was racing. I looked up and saw Chloe, her face pale. I rushed over and asked, Chloe, are you okay? You look terrible. Chloe took my water bottle and rinsed her mouth, only stopping when the taste was gone. Seeing the worry on my face, she lowered her head and buried it in my shoulder, her voice tinged with grievance. I got scared. It's all your fault for leaving me. The grown-up Chloe rarely showed me this vulnerable side, and I felt a pang of guilt. I stroked her head. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Chloe nuzzled my palm, then sat up. You dare think there'll be a next time? I gave her a piece of candy from my bag and asked, what did Julian do to you? Nothing. I stared at her for a while, but since she wouldn't say anything, I gave up asking. After getting home from school, I took a shower, threw on a white t-shirt, and went to Chloe's bedroom door. I knocked, but there was no answer. I pushed the door open and saw her sitting at her computer with headphones on. I walked over and knocked on her desk. What are we having for dinner? Chloe took off her headphones and stretched. I'll cook. I clutched my chest with a pained expression. Chloe, I really feel for you today, but you don't have to poison me, do you? She pulled my head into a hug and playfully pounded on me with her small fists. Poisoning your food would be a waste of poison. I felt a soft sensation on the back of my head, and Chloe's face and neck instantly turned bright red. She struggled free and ran downstairs. I had momentarily forgotten that she usually didn't wear a bra at home. No matter how close we were, she couldn't just press a guy's head against her chest. When I went downstairs, I saw Chloe already in the kitchen, chopping vegetables. I went over for a look. She actually seemed to know what she was doing. Not bad. Need any help? Chloe poured some meat into the pressure cooker and glanced at me. Go sit down. Don't get in the way. I sauntered over, plopped down on the sofa, and turned on the TV. Chloe warned me, don't eat any snacks, or if you can't finish dinner later, I'll stuff it all down your throat. I was speechless. She just wanted me to finish her leftovers, didn't she? After some time, the fragrant aroma of food filled the air. I turned off the TV. Chloe had already served the rice. It was a simple meal of 4 dishes and a soup, and they were all my favorites. I praised her with a look of surprise. Chloe's lips curved into a smug smile. This young lady is just naturally gifted. That just proves your talent is second-rate and I'm number 1. The master always makes their entrance last. I'll show you my skills one day. After the meal, we both lay on the sofa, watching a cheesy drama on TV. I kicked Chloe lightly. Are you really not going to tell me? What exactly did Julian do to you? Chloe's voice was laced with a unique weariness. I don't know how to say it. For someone so proud, she actually had moments of hesitation. I sat up, my eyes fixed on her, and asked worriedly, then tell me, why did you throw up? The first thing you did when you got back to the classroom was rinse your mouth. I didn't dare to imagine worse scenarios. Would those so-called transmigrators really hurt her? I shouldn't have left. Chloe's brow twitched, and she sighed, looking at me. If I tell you, you're not allowed to laugh. I blinked and nodded. She said awkwardly, he took off his own clothes. I was so shocked I threw up. I was stunned. What do you mean? Why would you be looking at his... There. Chloe pouted. He's the one who took them off. I asked, confused. Then why did you throw up? Chloe frowned and spat out one word. Disgusting. I was shocked. What about when you watch adult films? Chloe pinched me, saying disdainfully, I never watched that stuff. What's so good about something so disgusting? She then realized and glared at me. You've watched them? My eyes darted around. Of course not. I heard it from other people. A man who doesn't respect himself is like rotten cabbage. You get it? You re lucky you met me. Back in my room, getting ready for bed, I couldn't help but laugh thinking about Julian's face. Most guys at our prestigious school are a bit arrogant and come from wealthy families. How could they possibly swallow their pride to please someone else? So, those so-called transmigrators probably couldn't really hurt Chloe. After all, she's the heroine of this world. Should I tell Chloe that they're all strategists trying to win her over? I fell asleep with that question on my mind. The next day, I was panting like a dog as I pedaled my bike with Chloe on the back. Chloe, you need to lose weight. Chloe leaned against my back. It's you who's too skinny. This is a good workout for you. I complained. Don't lean on me, it's boiling hot. We bickered like elementary school kids all the way there. When I got to the classroom, I scanned the room and noticed Julian hadn't arrived yet, though he was usually here by this time. I took out my phone and saw he had actually updated his status with a bunch of emo posts. My mouth twitched. Seriously, dude, you're already getting depressed over this? Beside me, Chloe glanced down at the time. It's time. I have to go to the student council. I asked, is Sean Miller back yet? Sean was the student council president, but he'd been away representing the school at some event for the past few days, so Chloe was filling in for him. After finishing her student council duties, Chloe left the classroom, turned left, and opened a door. The sign above it clearly read, Baking Club. The instructor inside smiled. Chloe, you're here. What do you want to make today? Chloe tied on an apron. The instructor grew fonder of the girl the more he saw her. At first, he thought she was just fooling around, but he never expected her to stick with it for so long. Chloe said, I want to learn how to make pudding today. The pastry chef smiled and took out the tools. There really aren't many girls like you these days. So, have you won over the person you like yet? Chloe lowered her eyes, her lips tightening as her gaze darkened. Not yet. The instructor continued, are young people's standards so high now? If you ask me, you need to say some sweet things. I've been there. Back in the day, my first love was stolen by a smooth-talking pretty boy. So, you have to speak up about what you've done. Don't just do things behind the scenes or he'll never know. By the time you realize it, he'll have been snatched away by some sweet talker. Chloe stopped what she was doing, her face darkening and her tone icy. He has always been mine. If he leaves with someone else, I'll chop that person to pieces. The instructor froze, then slapped his own mouth. Look at me running my mouth. I didn't mean anything by it. Don't take it to heart. The atmosphere grew silent. After Chloe left, the pastry chef wiped the sweat from his brow and breathed a sigh of relief. Chloe walked into the classroom with the pudding and immediately saw me sitting on a desk. Remembering what the instructor had said, her expression darkened. Suddenly, she looked up, waved at me, and smiled. She slowly approached and placed what she had just made on my desk. I looked at her in surprise. Where did the pudding come from? She looked down and replied, the student council gave it to me. If you don't want it, give it back. I quickly said, it's on my desk, so it's mine. She laughed. My hand was on your desk just now too. Without thinking, I blurted out, because you're all mine too. Chloe snorted. Are you a bandit? Her words were as disdainful as ever, but the look in her eyes was incredibly gentle. I am yours, so you can only be mine. I tore open the package, took a bite and said, if I were a bandit, I'd only rob you. Then I'd make you my servant, have Chloe wash my feet for me. Just thinking about it makes me happy. As if she knew what I was thinking, Chloe raised an eyebrow. Thank you for the reward, my king. I got into character. You're welcome. Seeing my mock authoritative act, Chloe played along. So, my king, is the pudding this humble servant brought you delicious? I finished the last bite and looked at her seriously. It's delicious. The king is very pleased. I then added with a smile, I think I have magic. Last night I said I wanted pudding, and today you brought it to me. Chloe laughed. Why don't you just say I'm a shooting star? I pondered for a moment. That seems to make sense. Chloe lowered her eyes, her soft, faint voice whispering in my ear. So, you can tell me any wish you have. Her sweet scent filled my senses, and I felt my heart stop for a second before it started pounding furiously. I grabbed my cup and stood up, spouting nonsense. Move, I'm thirsty. I'm going to get some water. Chloe stared at my flushed cheeks and chuckled softly. So, Ethan, you do have feelings for me, don't you? And not just as a childhood friend. I chugged a glass of water, and my heartbeat finally returned to normal. I cursed myself internally. That's your childhood friend, your buddy. What are you getting so worked up about? The bell rang for class. I went back to my seat, sat down, and calmly opened my book to take notes. Chloe turned to look at me. Are you okay? Are you kidding? What could be wrong with me? I was just suddenly thirsty. Chloe pointed at my book. It's English class now. I looked at the math textbook on my desk and calmly pulled out my English book. If Chloe found out my heart was racing because of her, she'd laugh her head off. Come on, heart, get it together. The teacher's next announcement completely calmed me down. Class, to help everyone build up their physical strength, the school has organized a pre-summer break activity. Next Monday, we'll be taking you all on a camping and hiking trip. We hope you all enjoy this chance to appreciate life. Some were happy, some were not. Hiking? It's so tiring and sunny. I can finally wear the new clothes I bought the other day. Finally, we get to go out and have some fun. None of the students mentioned Julian's absence, as if they had completely forgotten about him. At that moment, Julian was lying in bed, his face transformed. His double eyelids had become monolids, his nose was no longer as high, and his skin had grown dull. Host, are you sure you want to continue like this? Julian covered his face, breaking down. You don't understand. I've lost my irresistible charm. How can I win over the heroine when I'm this ugly? But if you do nothing, the system can only declare it a failure, and you will be erased. Julian asked blankly, then what should I do now? Hint, you can start the conquest again now. Everyone will forget the old Julian Carter, and they will get to know you anew. Julian asked hopefully, can my face go back to normal? Apologies, host. That is your punishment for failing the mission and cannot be reversed. Please do not be overly concerned with your appearance. Have you forgotten that you used to look like this and gradually became handsome by completing missions? Julian was dazed. That's right, he used to look like this. He had actually forgotten after all this time that he had also worked his way up step by step. Next week, the school will have a hiking trip. I hope you can successfully win the heroine's affection within 5 days. If you do, your face will also recover. It was Friday, the start of a 2-day break. I packed my homework, slung on my backpack, and headed home with Chloe. On the way, I looked at my phone and said happily, Chloe, Noah Davis said it's his birthday today and invited us to dinner. When Chloe and I entered the private room, Noah was chatting with his friends. I found an empty seat and sat down. A confident voice spoke up, Ethan, it's great to meet you. I'm Chloe's good friend, Noah Davis. I looked up at the guy, he had a sweet smile. I've seen you around school before. I hear you're Chloe's childhood sweetheart? Noah looked at me, puzzled. It's strange. I have a great memory for handsome guys, but I can never seem to remember you whenever I see you. I lowered my eyes and calmly sipped my drink. I found it strange too. For so many years, I've had absolutely no presence in other people's eyes. When I was a kid in class, it was like the teachers couldn't see me no matter what I did. Even if I met someone one day, they'd ask who I was the next. I've gotten used to it over the years. Maybe it's just like that system said, I'm just an insignificant side character. Chloe seemed to notice something and grabbed my hand, her warmth spreading from her palm to mine. I knew she was comforting me. In a cool tone, she addressed the group. Weren't we going to play a game? Everyone snapped out of it. Noah held up a cup. Right, let's play truth or dare. I let go of her hand and said softly, I'm fine. Chloe glanced down at me, then grabbed a nearby drink and took a big gulp, seeming to feel a little better. Noah raised his hand and said, the rule for truth or dare is, whoever gets the king can make one person do something. Chloe looked at her card. She had the king and I had the 5. Chloe said coolly, number 5, please write your name on my card. I was slightly taken aback. Huh? What a weird request. Yeah, Chloe, pick something more exciting. Chloe shot them an icy glare. Any objections? They were startled. No, none from us. Whatever you say goes. I took the pen and mechanically wrote my name on the card. They shuffled and played a few more rounds, but I was just dazed and absent-minded through it all. After saying goodbye to everyone, Chloe and I walked down the street. I paused for a few seconds and tentatively asked her, why did you make me write my name? Chloe's voice replied, don't you already know? I looked at her face for a few seconds, then slowly averted my gaze and smiled down at the ground. I've never actually gotten used to being ignored. I always did well, my grades were always tied with Chloe's for first place on the honor roll, but the teachers would only give the award to Chloe. I remember crying so hard that day, and little Chloe stormed into the office to argue with the teacher. The teacher agreed to give me an award too, but then they'd forget the next day, and it would just repeat. Later, Chloe gave me all of her awards and even wrote my name on all her test papers, her little face full of seriousness. After that, I never pushed for anyone to give me awards or even to remember me. The May evening was a bit cool, but I felt warm inside. I looked at Chloe beside me and slung my arm around her neck. Chloe, I want bubble tea, the extra large kind with pudding. Chloe refused. No, you just had a cold drink today. I pouted. Chloe's mock-serious voice sounded in my ear. Mommy is just looking out for you. Be a good boy and listen. I warned her, don't make me slap you. Chloe gave me a disdainful smile. Mommy doesn't think you have the heart to. I sighed. Did a dog bite you when you were a kid? No wonder you're such a pain now. Chloe's lips curved up. You're much more lively like this. Back home that night, I started preparing for the hiking trip. It was the first year the school had organized it, so the administration was taking it very seriously. For this hike, Chloe only packed a few bottles of water and some snacks. We were climbing Lookout Mountain. Legend has it that there's a wishing tree at the summit, and if you hang your name and the name of the person you love on it, you'll be together forever. The younger students were very interested in this. Chloe and I stood side by side, and I teased her, Chloe, if you can't make it up later, I can carry you. Chloe, full of energy, took a step and looked back with a smile. In that case, I won't be polite. I had intended to challenge her stamina, forgetting that this person has no sense of shame. By the time we reached the halfway point, some students were already panting heavily, sitting on the ground and complaining. When is this going to end? The teacher clapped his hands. Keep going, everyone. Persistence is victory. Your glory days are just ahead. I was also drenched in sweat, my earlier boasting coming back to bite me. I took off my jacket and sat on a rock, catching my breath. Looks like it's my turn to carry you. Chloe put her arm on my shoulder, took a bottle of water from her bag, twisted it open, and handed it to me. Have some water. I wonder who it was just now saying my stamina was no good. I chugged half of it and argued, sorry, I apologize for my body, but my spirit is full of fight. Chloe knelt in front of me, wiped my sweat, and shook her head. With your stamina, I could make several of you. I panted, you're the best. You're the absolute best. Chloe gave me a superior look from above and held out her hand. Of course I am. I looked up at her, confused. Chloe flicked my forehead with her finger. Didn't you say you wanted to be carried? I waved my hands. No thanks, if people see, they'll say I'm weaker than a girl. Chloe raised an eyebrow, pulled my hand onto her back, and chuckled. What are you thinking? I'll just carry you one more time. Hearing that, a wave of shame washed over me, and I wrapped my arms tightly around her neck. It won't be me who's embarrassed anyway, since I'm invisible. Chloe teased, my thin-skinned friend. Please take a look, we've already fallen behind. Only then did I realize there was no one behind us. Since Chloe and I had started last and were now delayed, the other students were long gone. I leaned close to her ear and asked curiously, Chloe, have you been secretly working out behind my back? How did you get so strong all of a sudden? You used to be a little crybaby who just followed me around. Before she had taken 2 steps, Chloe's brow furrowed, her face flushed red, and she was covered in sweat. I had never seen her like this before and was startled. I immediately jumped off, cupped her face, and asked anxiously, Chloe, What's wrong? Why is your face so red? I felt a bit guilty. I shouldn't have let Chloe carry me. Chloe took the water from my hand, drank it all in one go, and slowly steadied her breathing. Let's go. The teacher will probably come looking for us soon. Chloe dusted herself off, her expression returning to normal. I said worriedly, if you're not feeling well, you have to tell me. I'll go find the teacher. Don't try to be tough. A familiar voice rang out. Hello, the teacher sent me to get you. The other students are waiting for you at the top. I sized up the person in front of me. The way he looked at Chloe made me feel inexplicably uncomfortable. Asterisk system, are you sure Chloe's memories of me are gone? Asterisk asterisk, of course. Host, please do not question our technology. Asterisk, the familiar dialogue echoed in my ears as I squinted at the boy in front of me. He smiled brightly. My name is Julian Carter. You can give me your bags. I'll carry them for you. It was him, indeed. But why did he look different? So Chloe didn't remember the old Julian? I remembered the punishment the system had mentioned, so this must be the punished version of Julian. Chloe responded politely, thank you. Julian beamed. What about this classmate? Do you need help too? I clutched my backpack and frowned. Thanks, I can manage. Julian replied. All right then, let's head up. Asterisk system. I think I still have an unused item, right? Asterisk asterisk. Yes, host, but I still advise against using it. It has side effects. Asterisk asterisk. I wouldn't use it unless I absolutely have to. To increase Chloe's affection, I have no other choice. Asterisk asterisk. Then I wish you success, host. Asterisk. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. I grabbed Chloe's arm tightly. I felt a deep sense of unease and wanted to tell her everything, but a voice in my head appeared, telling me I absolutely couldn't. I shook my head hard, trying to get rid of the voice. Chloe glanced down at her clothes, which I was gripping tightly. She took my hand and asked, what are you afraid of? I controlled my unease and let out a breath. Nothing, just a little tired. Let's hurry up. She could clearly tell I was hiding something and silently observed my expression. It seemed I had been acting strange ever since this Julian showed up. So, had this Julian done something to her before? Chloe narrowed her eyes, her gaze dark as she stared at Julian for a moment. No matter what this man had done, she would make him pay. Julian said happily in his mind, asterisk, system, is Chloe looking at me? Asterisk asterisk. Yes, host. Asterisk. The system watched Chloe's affection level fluctuate wildly, from 0% to -30%, then down to -50%. The system was terrified. Looking at its happy host, it hesitated, unsure whether to tell him. Asterisk. Awesome. This is great news. It seems my method is working. I hope I can succeed this time without using the item. Asterisk. The system didn't answer him this time. Once at the summit, the students perked up again, busy writing their names and the names of their crushes. A group chattered excitedly about what to write. I didn't really believe in this stuff, so I didn't get a charm to write on. I opened my lunchbox, which Chloe had made this morning. What are you doing behind my back? Aren't you hungry? Chloe silently put away the slip of paper with the names written on it. It's nothing. I'll eat later. I'm going to the restroom. I felt a little uneasy. I looked around and saw Julian talking with other students. I nodded. Come back quickly. It should be fine. It would only take a few minutes, and Julian couldn't see our spot from his angle. Chloe lifted her eyelids, her gaze landing on my face. I know, I'll be right back. Chloe slowly walked to the wishing tree and took out the paper she had already written on. My name and hers were side by side. She had never believed in these things, always thinking that if she wanted something, she should work hard to get it herself. Praying to gods and Buddhas was something she believed only cowards did. But now, like a coward, she made a wish to this tree, laden with people's hopes. A wish she had dreamed of fulfilling, to be with Ethan forever. Chloe hung the charm and turned to leave, because I, the idiot, was still waiting for her. As she turned, she saw Julian. Julian smiled. Chloe, you came to hang a charm too? I thought you didn't believe in this stuff. Chloe had no intention of chatting with him. What's it to you? Chloe, why are you so harsh with me? I just want to be your friend. He didn't understand. This time he just wanted to get close to her slowly, figure out her interests, and gradually raise her affection level. But Chloe's attitude was always one of, keep your distance. Chloe narrowed her eyes. I don't need friends. Don't talk to me. After saying that, she started walking back towards me. Julian gritted his teeth behind her back. Asterisk, system, use the item. Asterisk asterisk activating. Activation complete. Please prepare yourself, host. Asterisk. Suddenly, the wind howled, everything went silent, and time froze. My hand, holding an apple to my mouth, stopped moving. I was shocked. What was happening? I couldn't move. My teeth were still biting into the apple. This must be Julian using that item, right? Panicked. I knew I shouldn't have let Chloe go to the restroom alone. Who knew Julian would use an item in just a few minutes? What do I do? Then, everything went black, and I passed out. I opened my eyes and saw a familiar room. What happened? Wasn't I just frozen on the mountaintop? How did I suddenly end up back at the White family's house? I tried to lift my hand to grab something but found I still couldn't move. Strange. Did Chloe carry me back? Just as I had that thought, I saw my own hand move. I heard Julian's voice in my head. Asterisk, what's the situation now? Asterisk asterisk host. The past repeats item forces the user to endlessly relive their most painful memory. And right now, your identity is the source of her pain. Asterisk, therefore, host, you must prevent the pain from happening and lead Chloe out of this painful memory. If you succeed, the system will alter Chloe's memories, making her remember that you were the one who led her out of the pain. Asterisk, but what did this body do? I have no idea. Asterisk asterisk, that is for you to discover, host. This is Chloe's memory, so no one knows what her pain is. Asterisk asterisk, how much time do I have? Asterisk asterisk, you must find the source of Chloe's pain within 3 days, or the system will declare you a failure and erase you. This is the side effect of the item. Asterisk asterisk, is it that serious? I thought I'd just get ugly again like last time. Asterisk asterisk, correct. Because this is a prohibited action, the system warned you not to use it, as it could inadvertently cause Chloe to become corrupted. Asterisk, listening to the familiar dialogue, if I wasn't mistaken, Julian was now inside my body. No, it's more like Julian had taken over my body. I was locked inside my own self, unable to move or speak, only able to watch him do all this. But if I wasn't mistaken, this body seemed to be my 8-year-old self. So, did I cause Chloe pain at this age? I don't really remember. There was a knock on the door. Young master, it's time for dinner. It was the nanny's voice. I watched myself open the door and go out. Through his eyes, I saw a woman in her 30s standing at the door, smiling happily at me. Our young master is so handsome. Let's go, time to eat. Our young miss is waiting. My eyelid twitched. I remembered this nanny. I liked her a lot as a kid because she was the only one who always praised me. But later, I heard she was fired for being light-fingered. I watched her lead myself out by the hand. At the top of the stairs, 8-year-old Chloe was already leaning there, waiting for me. Seeing me approach, she said with disdain, "You're so slow." I was about to retort with, "You could have started without me," but what came out was an apologetic. "Sorry to keep you waiting. I had forgotten I was locked inside my own body. What a shame. I actually kind of missed the current Chloe." Julian looked at the 8-year-old Chloe. Her features were no different from her older self. She looked just like a little princess from a fairy tale. Perhaps because she was younger, her expression wasn't as cold, and she didn't hide her emotions. She frowned and stared at me for a long time. "Did you take the wrong medicine today?" Maybe because this Chloe didn't have her grown-up pride yet, Julian didn't find her as intimidating. "Chloe, let's go eat." He tried to take her hand. I remembered that at this age, my relationship with Chloe wasn't that great. We argued all the time. Chloe took a step back, her gaze on me a little strange. "What did you just call me?" Julian blinked, looking at her with confusion. "Ethan, you're so boring." Chloe threw out that sentence, walked into her bedroom, and locked the door. The nanny knocked on the door. "Miss Chloe, don't be angry. Please eat first, don't upset yourself." A loud bang came from inside the room. I was startled. What was wrong with Chloe? Why was she throwing such a tantrum? This was the first time I'd ever seen it. Julian grew uneasy and quickly turned to the nanny. "Ma'am, what's wrong with Chloe? Did I make her angry?" The nanny knelt down and said, "It's all right. The young miss is just throwing a little fit. You just need to coax her a bit. After all, she listens to the young master the most." Julian didn't know what he'd said wrong, but since the nanny said so, and since his current body was supposedly the source of Chloe's pain, he had to figure it out. "Chloe, open the door." "I'm sorry, I was wrong just now. Please come out and eat." After a few minutes, Chloe opened the door. She ignored me and went downstairs on her own, sitting at the dining table to eat. "That's right. Didn't you say, miss, that no matter how angry you are, you can't starve yourself? Miss, you should learn from the young master on this." The nanny stood beside Chloe, cutting her meat and placing a glass of water next to her. I looked at the lavish meal on the table and swallowed. I was so hungry, I wondered when this would end. But wasn't this nanny a little too attentive to Chloe? I was used to being ignored back then, but looking at it now, something seemed off. Julian ate his food, feeling completely lost. Asterisk, system, can you give me a hint? I really don't know what to do. I'm not smart enough for this. Asterisk, I almost laughed. Julian had a pretty clear understanding of his own limitations. Though, if it were me, I probably wouldn't know what to do either. Asterisk, apologies, host. That function is not available. Asterisk, I'm really going to have a breakdown. I looked up and saw Chloe had finished eating. She wiped her mouth, hopped off her chair, and slowly went upstairs. Seeing her leave, Julian quickly ate a few more bites and followed. He glanced at the nanny. She was unhurriedly clearing the table, humming an unknown tune, looking very happy. The shadows from the ceiling light fell on her face, and though it was a familiar scene, it inexplicably sent a shiver down my spine. Upstairs, Julian stood in front of Chloe and said, "Chloe, please don't be mad at me. I'll get along with you from now on. I promise I won't do anything you hate." Julian thought that the boy whose body he was in must have done something terrible to Chloe for her to be in pain for so many years. In any case, he had to make it clear to this version of Chloe that he wouldn't hurt her. Chloe's face was expressionless, but seeing me like this, she suddenly smiled, a dimple on her left cheek looking especially sweet. All right, then how about you call me Big Sister Chloe from now on? Julian looked at the smiling Chloe, his heart pounding. He thought dazedly that this was the first time Chloe had smiled at him, and he realized she had a dimple when she smiled. I stared wide-eyed at 8-year-old Chloe, wishing I could jump out and give her a flying kick, telling her not to take advantage. But I could only watch as Julian, blushing, called her Big Sister Chloe. I was so mad. If I'm guilty, please punish me by law, not by making my body do this. I closed my eyes, not wanting to see the triumphant look on Chloe's face. But there wasn't a trace of a smile on Chloe's face. Her eyes were dark, and her young face suddenly overlapped with her older self. Julian was dazed, goosebumps breaking out on his arms. She was the one who told him to call her that, yet her expression was terrifying. He shivered. Chloe looked at me, and suddenly smiled. Then let's get along well from now on. Julian finally breathed a sigh of relief, nodded, wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, and told himself not to worry. This was just a memory. Chloe wouldn't actually do anything. That night, in my room, Julian was already asleep in bed, but I was wide awake. If I wasn't mistaken, it was about to happen. Click. It was the sound of my door lock being opened, followed by the flick of a light switch. I saw the nanny standing next to me. When I was 8, Chloe and I were sold to human traffickers, and it turned out the nanny was the one behind it. Soon, the nanny carried Chloe and me into a car. The driver was a bearded man with an unconcealable grin on his face. We're hitting the jackpot this time. That woman from the White family is going to be furious. The nanny's voice, no longer gentle, was icy. Hurry up and go. It'll be bad if they wake up. The bearded man said, what's there to be afraid of? Didn't you give them sleeping pills? But weren't we just supposed to grab the White family's daughter? Why is there an extra boy? The nanny said sarcastically, this boy is good looking. He should fetch a good price too. Who's going to complain about more money? The bearded man laughed heartily. The deadliest heart is a woman's. If the Whites knew they'd hired a wolf, they'd regret it to their core. I watched all this, my face pale. I glanced at Chloe beside me. She was sleeping soundly with her eyes closed. I didn't know what to do. Logically, this was just Chloe's memory, maybe just an illusion or a dream, but I didn't want her to have to relive this pain. They locked Chloe and me in a pitch-black room. As dawn broke, Julian rubbed his eyes, looked at the dilapidated house, and exclaimed in shock, holy crap, where is this? It stinks. He then covered his nose. Asterisk system, what's going on? Why did the scene change after I woke up? Asterisk asterisk, I don't know. Something important must be about to happen. You should check on Chloe first. Asterisk Julian finally snapped out of it. Enduring the stench, he looked around and found Chloe leaning against a wall. He rushed over to help her up, but she dodged him. He had no choice but to squat down and ask, are you okay? What's going on? How did we get here? Through his eyes, I watched Chloe. A light sweat beaded on her forehead. I knew her mysophobia was acting up. For someone who was always so clean, being thrown into a room full of garbage and a nauseating stench, it was a miracle she hadn't fainted. Chloe stood up, her stomach churning. The door opened, and a shifty-eyed, skinny man walked in, saying fiercely, what's all the noise? Watch it or I'll deal with you. Chloe said calmly, it stinks in here. I want to move to a different place. The skinny man immediately sneered, you're not some Miss White anymore. You'd better drop that attitude, or you'll be in for a world of hurt. Chloe said, you don't want anything to happen to us, do you? If you don't move me, you won't get anything if I die, right? She held a shard of glass to her own neck, a cold glint in her sharp, sword-like eyes. The skinny man was instantly terrified. Don't do anything rash. I'll move you to another place, easy, easy. He was a grown man, yet he was completely intimidated by a little girl's aura. I watched all this unfold. The situation was turning in Chloe's favor. The skinny man moved them to another room. It was still dilapidated, but at least it didn't stink as much. The skinny man looked displeased. All right, the room is changed. Now give me the glass. Chloe tossed the glass shard at his feet and said coolly, you can get lost now. The man's face flushed red with anger, his brows furrowed. But he couldn't hit her. A damaged product wouldn't sell for a good price. He just cursed under his breath, act tough now. You'll get what's coming to you. Then he locked the door and left. Julian was frantic. Big Sister Chloe, what do we do? Hearing him call her Big Sister Chloe, my eyelid twitched. Even though it wasn't me saying it, it was my voice, and it made me feel a little sick. Asterisk system, can't you give me an item to save us? Asterisk asterisk, host, stop dreaming. You should be thinking about how this body of yours caused Chloe's pain. Asterisk asterisk, it's already obvious. This body must have done something to hurt Chloe at this time, like betraying her or running away on his own. That's how it's usually written in novels, to give the heroine a tragic childhood. Asterisk asterisk, then please do your best to change that, host. Asterisk, what kind of cheesy novels has Julian been reading? but my mind wasn't on him right now. I realized that ever since Chloe opened the door, something had been off. This wasn't how I remembered it. At that moment, Chloe ignored him and lay down on the bed. Julian figured she must be tired, so he didn't say anything either. After some time, the door opened. I recognized the man as the one who had been driving earlier. He sauntered in, followed by the skinny man. He grabbed Chloe by the collar, a yellow-toothed grin on his face. "Little girl, I hear you're quite feisty. Let me tell you, you're not some Miss White anymore. I suggest you behave, or I won't mind earning a little less money." The skinny man tossed a bag over and followed him out. Julian rushed over. "Are you okay, big sister Chloe? Don't worry, we'll definitely get out of here." Chloe gave a sarcastic smile. "And how do you plan to do that?" Julian was stunned. He didn't know, he had no plan, but he was sure that Chloe could get them out. "Sister, I'm sorry, I don't know, but you're so capable, you'll definitely get me out of here, right?" Chloe kept her eyes down, her expression unreadable. Watching her memory now, something was wrong. Chloe was very, very wrong. By nightfall, it was quiet outside. Chloe slowly got up and pulled away a cabinet against the wall. Julian, not knowing what she was doing, helped her push it, whispering, "Big sister Chloe, what's with this cabinet?" Chloe didn't explain, but I knew there was a large hole there, a hole that my 8-year-old self had discovered. Julian saw the hole and exclaimed, "Big sister Chloe, you're amazing. I knew you had a plan." Chloe said flatly, "You go first." Julian's expression was firm. "Big sister Chloe, what are you saying? How could I go first? If we go together. Here it comes, here it comes." Chloe must be telling this body to go first, and then this body will turn around and betray her, causing her to distrust people forever. Based on his years of reading novels, this had to be it. My mouth twitched. What is this? Some life or death romantic drama? Chloe roared at him. "I said go, so go." I blinked, dazed. This scene felt like it was from that time. My 8-year-old self had found the escape hole and ran out with Chloe on my back. But I was too weak, with not enough stamina, and the mountain path was winding. I fell countless times, a burning pain searing my back. "Chloe, on my back," said weakly. "You go first, put me down. I've already sent a message to my mother. Someone should be here soon." I carried her, walking slowly through the pain. "If you've already messaged your mom, then I have even more reason not to leave." Chloe snapped. "I didn't send it, I was lying. If I could have, I would have already. I'm useless. Just leave me and go." I managed a weak smile. "I knew you were lying." Chloe hugged my neck tightly and yelled, "I told you to go, so just go." I forced a pained smile. "But you're holding on so tight." In that moment, I saw her again, the Chloe who told me to leave her but held on to me for dear life. Julian also shouted, "I'm not leaving, big sister Chloe. I won't abandon you." Suddenly, a sinister smile touched Chloe's lips. A terrifying chill filled the air, and a voice like poisoned honey said, "Then you can stay here forever." I noticed everything around us starting to disappear, piece by piece, and Chloe slowly transformed from her 8-year-old self into her older self. The system in Julian's head blared an alarm. Asterisk warning. Host has failed. Chloe has been corrupted. Host's life is in danger. Asterisk Julian panicked. "What do I do? Help me, system. I don't want to die." Asterisk, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." "Host, you're on your own." Asterisk Julian started crying in fear. "Don't come any closer." I was scared. I looked at Chloe. Her eyes were a dark red, her sharp features radiating coldness, and a morbid, dark light swirled in their depths. I shook my head. This wasn't Chloe. Chloe wasn't like this. She could be a pain sometimes, but she was gentle, and her occasional awkwardness was just because she was shy. This version of her felt strange and frightening. Chloe grabbed the retreating Julian by the throat, her eyes blood-red and filled with killing intent. "What did you do to him?" Julian couldn't breathe, a sharp pain shooting through his neck. He clawed at Chloe's hand, sputtering, "What are you talking about? I don't understand." Chloe's fingers tightened, her expression crazed. "Get out of him. Give him back to me." I felt like crying. Did she recognize me? Julian's eyes were rolling back in his head. He couldn't speak anymore. I managed to move my finger, a jolt of joy shooting through me. I slowly raised my hand to her face, smiled, and uttered the nickname only I knew, "Goofball." Chloe's hand trembled, and she pulled me into a tight, shaking hug. Feeling the wetness on my neck, I chuckled, "Crying again, little kid?" I slowly closed my eyes. Crunch. I took a bite of my apple and rubbed my chin, which felt a little sore. I glanced at Julian. He looked terrified. So, that feeling of wrongness I had inside, she had known all along it wasn't really me. Still, what was taking Chloe so long in the restroom? Chloe stared at the tree in front of her, covered in colorful paper charms. She felt like she had just woken from a terrible, vivid dream, so real it scared her. At that thought, Chloe sprinted back in my direction. Her trembling arms wrapped around me so tightly I almost choked on my apple. Patted her. "What are you doing? Chloe, you didn't forget to wash your hands and wipe them on me, did you?" Chloe held me, stroking my back. She knew there was a scar there, a scar I got for her. I turned my head to look at my clothes, pretending I didn't know what had just happened. You're acting weird after just going to the restroom. Chloe flicked my forehead. I just had a nightmare that you called me Big Sister Chloe. It scared me to death. I rubbed my forehead. It would have scared me to death. Me? Call you sister? Maybe in the next life. Chloe smiled sweetly. Call me what? Without thinking, I said, sister. Chloe covered her mouth, hiding a laugh. I know, my dear little brother. Took me a second to realize. You tricked me. I zipped up my bag, and the two of us bickered our way down the mountain. At the bottom, the teacher was already doing a head count, so Chloe and I went to stand in line. I noticed Julian staring at Chloe with a terrified expression. He rubbed his neck. Just looking at Chloe now made his neck ache terribly. In the blink of an eye, summer vacation arrived. After Julian disappeared, I never heard any system voices again. Until Chloe's birthday. I sat on the sofa eating an ice cream I had just snatched from her, waiting for our friends to arrive. Before long, Sean Miller, Olivia Jones, and Noah Davis rang the doorbell. The moment I opened the door, Sean took one look at me and collapsed. I was startled and quickly bent down to help him. Sean's inner voice, asterisk, are you saying I've been reincarnated? Asterisk asterisk, that's right, host. Asterisk, my hands paused. Not again. Asterisk system, please tell me what to do. Asterisk asterisk, host. Our system has detected that the reason for your reincarnation is a person named Chloe. You have 10 days to raise her affection for you to 20%, or you will return to your previous life as a waiter. Asterisk. Sean opened his eyes, sat up, and took in his surroundings. In his past life, at 18, his family was poor, so everyone looked down on him and even bullied him. Only Chloe would stand up for him and drive away the bullies. Later, they got to know each other through the student council. That's when he learned some of Chloe's secrets, that she was in love with her practically invisible childhood friend and had been for many years. This time, his girlfriend, Olivia Jones, had dragged him here for Chloe's birthday. I was puzzled. This one seemed different. Not only was the time limit longer, but the required affection level was lower too. I glanced at Chloe. She must be so difficult to deal with that even the system couldn't take it anymore. After they came in, I went to the fridge to get some ice cream bars to help them cool down. Chloe pouted. Why isn't there one for me? I retorted. Isn't it almost your time of the month? I bet you just want an excuse to blame me when you get cramps. Chloe looked at me and kicked my leg. You're the one who's almost here. See what I mean? You're supposed to be a girl, but with an attitude like yours, not even a dog would date you. It's my birthday today, Chloe reminded me. My expression froze. I was wrong just now. You're the bigger person. Please forgive me. It all started with the gifts. That morning, while Chloe and I were having breakfast, a package arrived. Inside were a car key and a pair of high heels. I took a sip of my porridge and asked, who sent it? Who else? My mother and brother. Suddenly, Chloe put down her things and asked me, what about yours? You didn't forget to get me a gift, did you? It's upstairs. Do you want to see it now? It's still daytime, not even evening yet, and we haven't had cake. Chloe pulled me upstairs. Yes, right now. I took a small box from the drawer and handed it to her. It was tied with a ribbon bow. Chloe untied the bow, tore off the wrapping paper, and found a slip of paper inside that read, wish voucher. Seeing her lack of reaction, I felt a bit embarrassed and explained, I didn't know what to get you. I thought about it so hard my head almost went bald, and then I came up with this idea. It's only valid on your birthday. Whatever you wish for today, I'll make it happen. Chloe smiled. I guess that's acceptable. I wish that you can't refuse me today. She found her willpower seemed to be getting weaker. I watched her accept my gift and breathed a sigh of relief. For the rest of the day, I regretted everything. Because whenever I said something she didn't like, she would just say, it's my birthday today, and have me completely under her thumb. The August heat defeated any thoughts of going out, so we all just stayed home, enjoying the AC, playing games and cards. After a few rounds, I suddenly craved the milk pudding from the shop near school, and everyone suggested that the loser should go buy it. A short while later, Noah came back through the door. Damn, it's boiling out there. Why did I have to be the loser? I'm challenging you all to a rematch. I took one of the puddings, opened it and started eating happily. Noah handed the other bowl to Sean. Sean shifted slightly and glanced at Chloe. Chloe, do you want this? You can have it. I haven't opened mine. Chloe kicked my leg without looking at Sean. No thanks. I'll just have some of Ethan's. I sighed, understanding what she meant, and started feeding her spoonful by spoonful. I said resentfully, I thought you didn't like this stuff. Are you doing this on purpose? I had finally won it, and now half of it was going into her stomach. Chloe opened her mouth. The dessert she usually found too rich didn't taste so bad now. Watch your tone. Yes, Miss Chloe. What else would you like to eat? Allow me to feed you. I forced a stiff smile, thinking to myself, eat, eat, eat. I hope you stuff yourself sick. Not for now. Kneel. Chloe acted as if she didn't see my furious expression and even gave me a provocative eyebrow raise. Noah yawned. This is so boring. He turned to Chloe and asked, Chloe, is this how you're spending your glorious 18th birthday? It's so dull. Chloe retorted, I like dull. Then she muttered under her breath, I was actually hoping you guys wouldn't interrupt my time alone with Ethan today. Let's play a game, Noah suggested. I have these cards here with punishments on them. He found a glass Coke bottle. This will be our spinner. Whoever the bottle points to has to do a punishment. How about it? Chloe replied lazily. Boring. Seeing that everyone else agreed, Chloe couldn't refuse and said resignedly, Give it to me, I'll spin. The glass bottle spun on the table with a whirring sound, finally stopping in front of Olivia Jones. Olivia grinned, glanced at Chloe, and then said to Noah, You draw for me. All right, let me draw the most vicious one for you. Before Noah could finish, he looked at the card in his hand in surprise. Please kiss the person next to you? Damn, I love this punishment card. It's exciting. Olivia frantically signaled to Chloe with her eyes, then glanced at me. Chloe looked at me and, sure enough, I was staring with wide, unblinking eyes, waiting to see them kiss. Chloe irritably turned my face towards her. Ethan, are you that curious? With my face squished by Chloe, I mumbled, Let go of me. Then I heard the sound of a quick kiss. I angrily pushed her hand away, rubbed my face, and leaned in close to her. That's not fair, Chloe. You watched but didn't let me see. I met Chloe's gaze and saw her cheeks flush red. She swallowed hard. I didn't look. Then she covered her burning face and ran to the bathroom. I took a sip of water. What was that about? Did she find me scary or something? Olivia watched Chloe flee and laughed. I'm going to the bathroom too. Sean, watching all this, knew I was her childhood friend and immediately came over to me. You and Chloe are so close. It's really enviable. I nodded. It's all right. Sean frowned, looking a bit troubled. You know, when I was a kid, I always wanted an older childhood friend who would be nice to me and protect me when I was in danger. But I wasn't as lucky as you. I corrected him seriously. Younger sister. Then I subtly scooted away on the sofa. This guy, he's been acting weird ever since he got bound to that system. I sighed internally. If we can't talk, let's just not talk. It's awkward for both of us. I'd never wanted Chloe to come over so badly. Chloe splashed her face with water, panting as she stared at her reflection in the mirror, her heart about to leap out of her chest. Her eyes were misty, and her ears were bright red. She went out to the balcony to get some fresh air and calm down. Olivia came out of the bathroom and followed Chloe to the balcony. Seriously, are you ever going to just tell him? Chloe narrowed her eyes, afraid that if Ethan didn't like her back, their relationship would never be the same. Olivia smiled and waved her hand dismissively. The same Chloe who never cared about anything was being such a coward about this. By the way, didn't I tell you to write him a love letter last time? How did it go? Did you write it? Chloe paused. I wrote it, but I don't think he saw it. Olivia said exasperatedly, Chloe, you're not the patient type. If you wait too long, you won't just lose him. What are you guys talking about? Did I hear something about a loved one? I popped up beside them. Olivia covered her mouth and laughed. You heard us? Ethan, Chloe, and I were just talking about our beloveds. What? Chloe, you have a beloved? Who is it? Do I know them? What do they look like? Chloe patted my head. Whether I do or not, wouldn't you know best? I nodded. True. With a personality as bad as yours, how could you possibly find a boyfriend? Chloe pulled me closer. Then I guess I'll just have to plague you. What? I looked at Chloe, speechless. Olivia watched from the side, feeling a pang of sympathy for her. At this rate, it would take forever for her to win Ethan over. After eating cake that evening, it was time for them to go. Before leaving, Sean grabbed my hand, acting like we were old friends. Hey man, I think you're a really good guy. We should keep in touch. I shivered. Shouldn't he be trying to win over Chloe? What was with this focus on me? Chloe asked, puzzled. When did you two get so close? Who knows? That guy's a bit weird. Better to stay away from him. I couldn't figure out what he was thinking. At this point, I was grateful for my low presence. Sean would probably forget all about me by tomorrow. Chloe smiled at me. That's good. It means you're getting more attention. I shook my head. I just didn't know how to say no. You know I'm not good at rejecting people. Chloe threw a question at me. Then why do you always reject me? I looked at her with a wronged expression. Isn't that because we're close? Besides, when have I ever rejected you? I've been at your beck and call all day, and I didn't even get to see the kiss I wanted to watch. Chloe asked nonchalantly. You wanted to see it that badly? I felt a bit awkward. Well, it's just, people say kissing feels like an electric shock, so I wanted to see their reaction. Chloe let out a low chuckle. You can't tell just by watching. Her laugh made my face feel hot. Of course I know that, but can't I just look? Then let's try it. Before I could even process what she meant, Chloe had already wrapped her arms around my waist and pulled me in. I instinctively put my hands on her neck. I frantically tried to pull back. Chloe stared at me. Weren't you curious? You'll know if you try. Are you crazy? Chloe, we're buddies. This isn't right, is it? The atmosphere was incredibly tense, and my mind was a mess. I couldn't even remember what I had said to lead to this situation. Chloe was like a captivating demon, whispering in my ear, It's my birthday today. You said it yourself, you'd grant any wish I have. As for whether we're buddies, won't you know if you try? Besides, I'm beautiful, and it's both our first kisses, so you're not losing out. And to be honest, I'm curious too, so just satisfy my curiosity. Looking at Chloe, she was right, she was beautiful. I don't know if I was bewitched by Chloe or just wanted to grant her wish, but I gave a soft smile and continued, I just had some candy, so I guess I can reluctantly give it a try. I slowly closed my eyes and leaned in. My first sensation was softness. I never knew a girl's lips could be so soft. It was just a light touch, less than a second, and I pulled away. I licked my lips and clutched my chest. So novels were all lies. It was sweet, but there was no electric shock. Chloe's voice was hoarse as she asked patiently, how did it feel? I uttered one word, soft. Chloe's eyes were intense. What about the electric shock? I shook my head. Maybe we didn't kiss long enough. Chloe said something shocking. My turn this time. I started to say, what? But she sealed my lips with hers. It was completely different from my kiss. She started by licking my lips, then gently entered, tangling with me, and kissing me softly. My heart pounded as if it would burst from my chest. Chloe thought hazily, so the candy Ethan just had was milk-flavored. After what felt like an eternity, Chloe reluctantly let me go, holding my face tightly. And this time, my brain had shut down. I panted, wiped my mouth and said, flustered and angry, no feeling. Where did she learn to do that? She was so wicked. Chloe smiled at me. What should we do? Because I definitely felt something. Seeing her like that, my heart raced, and I fled in a panic. I lay on my bed, eyes closed, taking deep breaths and clutching my racing heart, the scene from just now replaying in my mind. How could I have kissed Chloe? It was all that wicked woman's fault for seducing me. I kept reminding myself, that's Chloe, my buddy. After who knows how long of a mental struggle, I finally fell asleep. The next morning, when I saw Chloe, I subconsciously touched my lips. Why are you staring at me so early in the morning? I scratched the back of my head. It's nothing. The atmosphere suddenly became a bit quiet. Usually, during meals, Chloe would chatter on endlessly. To break the awkward silence, I spoke first. How did you sleep last night? Chloe put down her cup and stared at me. Not well. Do you want to know why? I shifted uncomfortably and stammered. Not really. Have you ever thought about being in a relationship? I looked up, confused by the sudden change of topic. I have. I think any red-blooded teenager fantasizes about it. But by the time I was in my late teens, the idea of dating had faded. I don't want a girlfriend who asks for my name every day, forcing me to explain myself over and over, repeating that same cycle. Chloe propped her head on her hand and asked, so what are your standards for a girlfriend? I counted on my fingers. First, she has to be nice to me. Then, she has to do whatever I say. Be beautiful, kind, and most importantly, remember me. I asked curiously, what about you? What are your standards for a boyfriend? Chloe lifted her eyelids and glanced at me. Someone a bit dumb, I guess. Ignorance is bliss. I nodded. True. Then I sighed. That puts a smart person like me in an awkward position, doesn't it? Immediately after, Chloe picked up her phone and sent a message to Olivia. Let's go out for drinks tonight. I'm in a bad mood. She sent the address and put her phone down. I'm taking you to a bar tonight. I said in surprise. Really? I've never been. I'll go change. Chloe pouted as she watched me go upstairs. Jerk. So fickle. He has no perception at all. Can't he see I'm upset? And I still have to coax him and take him out to have fun. I changed into some random clothes and looked at myself in the mirror, feeling like something was missing. I then remembered the birthday gift Chloe gave me last year. A bottle of men's cologne. She said she had carefully chosen it so that people would notice me. A moment later, Chloe pushed open my door. Are you ready? What's taking you so long? She saw me spraying the cologne and suddenly remembered something. She stood at the door, blushing, and said, did you read the letter in the cologne box? She touched her ear and fiddled with the bow on her collar to hide her nervousness. I replied nonchalantly, the letter? I read it. Is there a problem? Chloe's fingers tightened on the bow, her hair falling to hide her eyes. Don't you have anything to say to me? Say what? It was just one of those generic thank you notes from an online seller. Do you want me to write a review? Chloe's vision blurred, and her nose tingled. Her sadness today was as deep as her happiness last night. It was true. Ethan didn't like her at all. He only saw her as a little sister. I saw Chloe's red-rimmed eyes and was startled. What's wrong? Are you crying? Chloe took a deep breath, her hands clenched into tight fists. Two voices argued in her head. One said, pounce on him, tell him you love him, tell him you don't want to be his damn little sister. The other said, don't. Do you want to scare him? You won't even be able to be friends after that. The little figures in her head kept arguing, and Chloe's clenched fists gradually relaxed. I looked at her nervously. Chloe, are you okay? Why is your nose bleeding all of a sudden? Chloe reached up and touched it, the metallic smell of blood in her nostrils bringing her back to her senses. I'm fine. She then buried her head in her knees. The doctor cursed. Chloe, are you an idiot? You can't even confess that you like someone. After a long fuss, the two of us finally set out. When we arrived, we found that Sean and Olivia were already there. Olivia ordered 2 drinks, walked over to Chloe with one, and said, "Have a drink." Chloe raised an eyebrow. "All right." I looked at Sean, who seemed on edge. Ever since his reincarnation, Sean had been worried it was all a dream, afraid he'd wake up and be back to his life as a waiter. He planned to break up with Olivia tonight, and he needed to get on good terms with Ethan as soon as possible so he wouldn't have to rely on Olivia to get close to him. I listened to his thoughts, confused. The more I heard, the weirder it sounded. Sean patted my shoulder. "Bro, let me tell you something. Don't get mad. Don't you think Chloe is too harsh on guys?" I realized he had truly forgotten me. I played along. "What do you mean?" Sean clenched his fist, looking indignant, but a flash of disdain crossed his eyes. "Look at all the guys at school who like her, and she just ignores them. If she didn't have that face, who would even like her?" The smile on my face turned serious. "Are you okay? She never forced anyone to like her, and she made her stance clear at the beginning of the school year. You said it yourself, you guys only like her for her face, so why can't she reject you? You don't know Chloe at all, so what right do you have to talk about her like that?" Sean didn't expect such a strong reaction from me. "Don't be mad. I just heard it from other people. Asterisk, what's going on? He was fine just a moment ago. Does he like Chloe too? With his plain face, is he even worthy? I'm doing you a favor by telling you this, and you're lecturing me?" Asterisk, I heard his thoughts and looked at him with contempt. "In my opinion, you're worse than any of them." Sean forced a stiff smile. "What are you talking about? I don't even like Chloe." I stood up, not wanting to stay there any longer. "You know exactly what I'm talking about." Sean clenched his fists. Asterisk system. "How many days do I have left?" Asterisk asterisk 7 days. "Host, you have made no progress. I hope you will speed up your conquest. You don't want to go back to your previous life, do you? Host. Asterisk asterisk. "I will complete it." Asterisk, I shook my head. I felt like Sean was becoming obsessed, and this so-called system seemed off too. On the other side of the room, Olivia handed Chloe a drink. "What's with you today? You look kind of frustrated." Chloe thought about her emotional roller coaster over the past 2 days, downed her drink in one gulp, and spat out a single word: "Annoyed." That blockhead Ethan, did he genuinely not understand, or was he just playing dumb? I went and sat down next to Chloe. Even though she looked unhappy herself, she still noticed my mood. Chloe turned her head, took my face in her hands, and frowned. "Who upset you?" I dodged her hand. "It's nothing." Olivia, a few drinks in and a little flushed, pointed at Chloe and teased, "Chloe, why are you looking after him like a baby? Who would dare bully our dear Ethan?" Chloe turned and bent Olivia's finger back. "Make it clear. Who's dear Ethan?" Olivia grabbed Chloe's wrist, yelping in pain. "Ow! Yours? He's yours. All right?" Olivia's expression made me laugh. Seeing me laugh, Chloe looked back at me. "So, you're happy now?" I shook my head helplessly. I wasn't mad in the first place. But inside, I was bothered by what Sean had done, especially his bad-mouthing of Chloe. Then I looked curiously at the blue drink in front of her. "What are you guys drinking?" Chloe held it up for me to see. "A cocktail." I took her glass and took a sip, instantly wrinkling my nose. "Not my thing." Chloe saw the faint lip mark on the rim, subtly turned the glass to align with it, drank the rest in one go, and licked her lips. "It's my thing." Olivia watched her smooth move, her eyebrow twitching, momentarily at a loss for words. It was a smooth move, all right, but aimed at the wrong target. Just a moment ago she looked frustrated, and now seeing Ethan, she was like a dog with a bone. We all kept drinking, and it was almost midnight by the time we got home. I entered the code and opened the door, but suddenly Chloe grabbed my wrist and pulled me stumbling onto the sofa. I looked up and accused her. "Chloe, don't tell me you're drunk. Stop being unreasonable. It's late, go wash up and go to bed." A drop of water landed on my wrist. My pupils dilated, and my voice trailed off. Chloe sobbed. "You were mean to me." In that moment, Chloe had none of her usual cocky demeanor. I wiped the tears from her face and coaxed her in a gentle voice. "How was I mean to you? Look, you're tired, and it's very late. You should get some rest, right?" Chloe nuzzled my hand gently, then buried her head in my shoulder and mumbled, "Comfort me." Her chest was pressed tightly against mine, so close I felt like our heartbeats were synchronized. I tried to push her away slightly, but she just hugged me tighter. I sighed and stroked her head. "Good girl, Chloe. Don't be angry." Chloe hummed in response. I don't know how long I comforted her, but I finally let her go with a wry smile when I heard her faint, even breathing. I never thought this tough girl could be so fragile when drunk. It reminded me of our childhood, when Chloe and I were almost sold. We got injured while escaping, and she was in the hospital for a long time. After she was discharged, Chloe became incredibly clingy. Sometimes I'd fall asleep in my own room and wake up to find her sleeping beside me. I carried her princess style to her bed. Afraid she might roll off in her drunken state, I placed several pillows on the floor around it, then yawned and went upstairs to sleep. I woke up the next day, and it was already noon. I yawned and went downstairs but didn't see Chloe, so I went back up and knocked on her door. When there was no answer, I pushed it open and went in. "Chloe, are you okay?" Poked her. Chloe frowned, her eyes still closed, and rasped, "Headache." I felt her forehead, then used a thermometer to check her temperature. 99.3 degrees Fahrenheit, a low-grade fever. I was probably a bit anxious, because I blurted out, "Chloe, take off your clothes, I'll help you wipe down." Chloe looked at my face, blushing, and slowly hummed in agreement. "Then I'll go get a towel." When I came back with a basin and towel, Chloe had obediently taken off her shirt. I wrung out the towel and began to wipe her down. Slowly, I paused. I never expected to see abs on her slender frame. Realizing where I was looking, my face instantly turned beet red. I didn't dare look anymore and thrust the wrung-out towel into Chloe's hand. "You can do the rest yourself." Chloe frowned, her voice weak. "Ethan, you don't care about me at all." I opened my mouth, my back to her, and explained, "Of course I care about you, but there's a difference between men and women." Chloe rolled over, pressing against my back. "You only remember that when it's convenient for you. Are you done wiping?" "I'm turning around now." I touched her face. "Feeling better? Be a good girl and take your medicine first." Chloe stared at me without blinking. "I don't want to take medicine." I didn't even realize how soft my own voice was. "I know your weird habits. I'll feed it to you, okay?" I took out a fever reducer, gently told her to open her mouth, and handed her a glass of water. Chloe lowered her eyes, obediently opened her mouth, and swallowed. Watching her throat move, I reached out and touched it. "How is it? Did it go down?" Chloe opened her mouth to show me. Sure enough, the pill was still on her tongue. I brought the cup to her lips. "It's okay, here, take another sip." Chloe took a big gulp and opened her mouth. Seeing the pill was gone, I praised her. "Great job." Then I took out a piece of candy and handed it to her. "Here's your reward." Chloe kept the candy in her mouth, her eyes never leaving me. I started teasing her. If the people at school knew that the usually aloof goddess can't even swallow a pill when she's sick, I wonder what they'd think. Chloe pouted and muttered, "I don't care about them." All right, you get some sleep. I'll wake you up for food later." I went downstairs to start making breakfast. Knowing she wasn't feeling well, I decided to make her some porridge. After setting the rice cooker, I went back upstairs to check on Chloe, saw she was sleeping soundly, and quietly left. I sat on the sofa, took out my phone, and checked the group chat. "Everyone come to my place for a horror movie night. I bought a ton of snacks." I typed back, "Chloe has a cold, so we can't make it." Who knew they would all get excited? "Chloe has a cold? No way, I have to go see. I've never seen her sick before." My mouth twitched, and I replied, "It sounds like you guys just want to come for the show." Just then, the rice cooker beeped. I ladled a bowl for Chloe and brought it to her. In the room, Chloe was still asleep. I put down the porridge and called to her, "Chloe, wake up and eat something before you go back to sleep." Chloe opened her eyes, still blurry with sleep. When she saw me, she slowly sat up. I held the bowl and asked, "Does your head still hurt?" "Not anymore." Chloe's voice was weary. I brought the porridge to her. "Here, eat something to fill your stomach." Chloe opened her mouth. "Feed me." I opened my mouth, but before I could speak, there was a noise from behind me. Noah and Olivia were staring at us with surprised expressions. I didn't know how long they had been watching, but it seemed Sean hadn't come. I said irritably, "Come in, what are you standing there for?" Noah snapped out of it, quickly picked up the fruit from the floor and stammered, "I never thought Chloe would be so clingy when she's sick." Olivia burst out laughing at his description. Chloe's expression was as dark as thunder. If looks could kill, those two would have died 100 times over. To ease the tension, I laughed. All right, what's so funny? It's obvious you two have no one to dote on you." My words seemed to soothe Chloe. "That's right, they're unloved children. We won't stoop to their level." Olivia pretended to be hurt. "You have double standards. I've known you since we were kids too." While they were chatting, I took the fruit they brought to the kitchen and washed some grapes for Chloe. When I came out after washing the fruit, only Chloe was left in the room. I popped a grape into her mouth and asked, "Where did they go?" Chloe gave me a light glance, pouted, and snorted. I put the things down, my expression serious. "What's wrong, my lady? Who made you unhappy? This humble servant will take care of them immediately." Chloe pointed at me and said pitifully, "It was you." "What? It was this humble servant who made you unhappy? I shall atone with my life." Chloe looked at me and smiled, the dimple on her cheek adding a touch of sweetness to her cold face. She said dotingly, "Idiot."
Isait, finally smiling.
"Chloe, you're so hard to please. I'll get the thermometer. Let's check your temperature again. Then we can go downstairs for a bite." I looked at the thermometer. "Yep, it's normal now." Chloe said, "I'm going to take a shower. They're downstairs, you go ahead." She was sweaty and sticky, feeling extremely uncomfortable. "Okay," I reminded her. "Don't take too long, just a quick rinse. You're just getting over your cold." The look in Chloe's eyes was so gentle it could drown a person. She suddenly thought that being sick all the time might not be so bad. This scene reminded her of a long-married couple. I went downstairs and saw Noah and Olivia discussing what movie to watch. When Noah saw me, he said excitedly, Ethan, we're watching a horror movie at your place today. I even bought props. I put my hands on my hips, annoyed. No weird stuff in this house. If you're going to watch, just watch. Don't bring that junk in here. Then, Chloe's voice came from behind me. That's right, this is my house. Are you planning a ghost hunt here? I turned around and saw Chloe squatting in front of the fridge. When I saw her reach for a cold Coke, I immediately ran over and snatched it away. Your cold isn't gone yet. You can't have cold drinks. Here, drink this instead. Chloe silently stood up, glanced down at the carton of sweet milk in my hand, then took it and replied slowly, even without cold drinks, I'm still blind. I scratched my head awkwardly. On second thought, Chloe was right. I had been pretty blind in the past. Suddenly, with a click, the lights in the room went out. Chloe and I turned to look. Noah had put away his props and turned on a red lamp, smiling at us. No ghost hunting, but we can at least set the mood, right? I had to admit, the whole atmosphere looked terrifying. I swallowed hard. Chloe glanced at my profile and smiled, then pulled my hand and walked towards the TV, flipping the main light back on. Noah squatted on the floor, yelling, "Ah, Chloe, don't turn on the light. We bought these props specially." Olivia, with a blanket over her head, chimed in, turn it off, you're ruining the vibe." Chloe glanced at them and reminded them, this is my house. If you're going to watch, then watch properly. Don't mess around with that stuff. Noah said to Olivia, fine, for Chloe and Ethan's sake, I'll let you off the hook today. He and Olivia had made a bet that whoever screamed today would have an ugly picture of them posted on Facebook tomorrow. The trash talk had escalated to the point of bringing props. Olivia threw the blanket off her head and said, that's hilarious. I'm the one letting you off, okay? Otherwise, you would have definitely lost. I watched them, speechless. They were both clearly scared but were still trash-talking each other. Bizarre, truly bizarre behavior. All right, let's just start watching. The two of them finally stopped their childish antics. The movie began, the color palette darkened, and the music grew ominous. I actually enjoy watching this kind of scary stuff, I just don't dare to watch it alone. If someone is with me, I'm not scared at all. In the movie, after a few seconds of silence, a female ghost suddenly appeared on screen. Noah and Olivia screamed and clung to each other. Not only was I not scared, I was amused by how silly they looked. I glanced at Chloe beside me and saw her watching Noah and Olivia while munching on snacks, treating them like they were part of the movie. The two in front were huddled together in fear, while the two in the back were eating, drinking, and enjoying the show. I had already started my commentary. This ghost is kind of pitiful. Well, this guy's probably going to die. No way. This plot is so boring, completely predictable. Chloe didn't say much during the movie. All you could hear was my constant commentary and the screams from Noah and Olivia. But she was never a talkative person to begin with, and she usually came off as very condescending to others. For the past 2 days, Sean had locked himself in his house. He couldn't remember much from before his reincarnation, but his time was running out. He only had 5 days left, and he had to win Chloe's affection within that time. Asterisk system, can you tell me what Chloe's affection level for me is right now? Asterisk asterisk, I'm very sorry, but because you have taken no action, it cannot be queried. Asterisk Sean was at a complete loss. After our unpleasant encounter last time, he didn't know how else to get close to Chloe. He rarely called Olivia. Although she was generous, she didn't seem to care about him at all, which was something he couldn't do anything about. Before becoming her boyfriend, he had prepared himself. She was known for playing the field and being open to almost any guy. The main reason she had confessed to him was her good relationship with Chloe. Wait, if he remembered correctly, they were supposed to go to a bed and breakfast in a couple of days. Listening to his parents arguing outside, a look of disgust flashed in his eyes. It was all their fault. Being born into such an ordinary family, he would never be able to make a name for himself. He refused to accept it. He would definitely win Chloe over. He wouldn't let his life be so miserable again. With the arrival of summer, everyone was eager to travel. Someone suggested a trip to ABB, so the group packed their bags and set off. I left with Chloe and Noah, while Sean went with his friends. The weather was scorching. I was sweating just sitting in the car, and the ice water I brought was already warm. As if we were jinxed, the car's AC broke down halfway there. I leaned against the window, my back soaked. Chloe, it's so hot. I regret coming. I'm the type who sweats a lot, so I hate going out in the summer. If no one had invited me, I probably would have spent the entire summer in an air-conditioned room. Chloe took my hand and had me lean against her. Then she took a thermos from her bag. It was filled with iced mung bean soup. She slowly brought it to my lips. I told you not to come, but you insisted. I took a sip, and my eyes lit up. It's cold. Chloe raised an eyebrow. Thermoses are amazing. I made a heart shape with my hands at her. Love you. Chloe's eyes brightened, and a smile played on her lips as she looked at me, her voice low. From the front, Noah yelled, I'm dying of heat too. I want some. Chloe, give me a sip. Chloe tossed him a small fan and replied with 2 words, blow it. You're playing favorites. Noah aimed the fan at his face, huffing, then sat back down and stuck it inside his shirt. which puffed out like a pouting child who didn't get his mother's affection. He chuckled at his own thought. I asked Chloe, aren't you having any? Chloe wiped her sweat and shook her head. We're almost there. The driver was also drenched in sweat. I'm so sorry. This car really needs to be replaced. I shouldn't have tried to save money. Don't worry, we'll be there in 5 minutes. It's okay, driver. It's not your fault. Noah also said, yeah, driver, it's fine. But you should really get a new car, for your own sake. The driver nodded. All right, we're here, kids. Thanks. After saying goodbye to the driver, I took in the 3-story, retro-style BB with its red tiles and green walls. Several cars were already parked outside. Other tourists had also chosen this new scenic spot for their vacation. In the distance, you could see a large natural lake, and even further beyond, rolling green peaks. I was amazed. This BB was different from others. Inside was a 3-courtyard layout. The first floor was the entertainment area, bustling with noise. The second was a leisure area with a swimming pool, and the third was the dining area. I had to admit, this place was really nice. No wonder some wealthy people came here to escape the summer heat. After we had settled into our rooms and rested a bit, Sean and Olivia finally arrived. Olivia's voice was light. Sorry, we're late. Sean urged him to sit. It's fine, you're here now. By the way, we're staying for 3 days. How are we splitting the rooms? I raised my hand, my eyes glued to my phone. I'll take a room by myself. This stupid game. I refuse to believe I can't beat it. Chloe said. Me too. Noah threw up his hands. Me too then. Never mind, what a stupid question. Sean, you can have your own room too. Noah, I'll room with you. Noah didn't care. Sean nodded, looking at Chloe. Perfect, this would make things easier for him. He remembered that in his past life, Chloe and the others had come here, and he seemed to recall a major incident. He had heard that Chloe got into a fight with someone. He didn't know the reason, but he remembered that she broke her hand because of it. So, he had to prevent it from happening to make her like him. I was completely obsessed with this game. Suddenly, a shadow fell over my phone, and I heard Chloe's low voice, tap the X. I froze, then reflexively tapped the X. I won. Her leg brushed against mine, her eyelashes fluttering. If you hadn't passed, you would have been dead. Noah, leaning on the table, watched us. He saw Chloe's arm resting on the back of the sofa, her head incredibly close to Ethan's, her whole body like a large tree sheltering him. He thought if Ethan were to turn his head right now, he would definitely kiss Chloe's cheek. He shook his head. How could he have such a terrifying thought? Olivia, watching him shake his head, asked, "What are you doing? Having a brain cramp?" Noah flipped him off. "You're the one with the cramp." Olivia blocked him. "My bad." Then she added slowly, "You don't even have a brain to begin with." Noah put him in a headlock. "I'm going to kill you." Sean sat alone, watching Chloe so close to me, biting his lip hard. He was just born into a good family, and that's why Chloe treated him differently. But at least Chloe didn't like him. He knew that much. Otherwise, she would have confessed to him years ago. And being good-looking was useless if you had such a low presence. What was the point? Almost no one at school even knew who he was. I stared at the "You have successfully joined the flock" message on my phone, lost in thought. Chloe shifted back. "Simple," I said indignantly. "That was luck. Pure luck." I glared at her. What do? I missed the sweet, obedient Chloe. Chloe rubbed her neck, changing the subject. "I'm hungry. Let's go eat." I was successfully distracted and suggested, "I just saw a hot pot place downstairs. Come on, let's go get hot pot." The group noisily made their way downstairs to eat. None of them were bad-looking, and with Chloe in the mix, as soon as they walked in, several guys started talking. "Oh my god, that girl in the white dress is so beautiful. Damn, she's a total knockout, but she looks pretty young. And the guy next to her is really good-looking too." The hot pot restaurant wasn't too crowded at this hour, so we were seated at a 4-person table. Chloe and I sat on one side, Sean and Olivia on the other, and Noah was given a small single stool. Chloe had already started ordering, checking off items quickly and handing the menu over. After the food was ordered, the group fell silent for a moment. Olivia suddenly spoke up. "Do you guys want bubble tea? I think there's a place selling it nearby. I'll go get some for you." Sean said, "I'll go with you." After they left to get bubble tea, I remembered the dipping sauce. "I'm going to make the sauce." "I'll go with you." Noah, still sitting, said, "Bring me a bowl." There were a few girls at the sauce station, so Chloe and I stood to the side, waiting. The girls started nudging each other and sizing me up. A prettier one came forward and asked me, "Hey, is this your girlfriend?" I glanced at Chloe and shook my head, not understanding what the girl wanted. Are girls into both guys and girls now? The girl's expression turned to surprise, then delight. "In that case, can I get your iMessage?" Took me a few seconds to realize she was hitting on me. Forgive me, my presence is so low I've never experienced this before. But after realizing it, I felt a bit awkward. I should have just said Chloe was my girlfriend. Chloe's expression had soured the moment the girl approached, and it got even worse when she saw me shake my head and deny she was my girlfriend. Seeing me not reject the girl, she gritted her teeth, feeling both angry and wronged. What was so great about this girl? She wasn't as pretty, as tall, or have skin as good as hers. She took a small step forward, leaned in close, and rested her hand on my shoulder as if declaring sovereignty, silently stating that our relationship was special. Then she shot me a dark glare. The girl was taken aback. "Hey, didn't you say she wasn't your girlfriend?" Without batting an eye, I said, "She's not my girlfriend, she's my wife." Chloe blinked, her heart skipping a beat as if those two words were coated in honey. A smile bloomed on her face, and she quickly pecked my cheek. "Hubby." My eyelashes fluttered, and my ears grew warm. I touched my cheek and shot her a fierce glare. Chloe's smile deepened, her dimple showing, as she looked at me dotingly. "Why are you glaring at your wife, hubby?" I pushed her away. The girls had already left at some point. "That's enough, they're gone." But someone seemed to have gotten addicted. "What is it, hubby?" "Here, let your wife make your sauce for you." I must have had a brain cramp just now. I threatened, "Call me that again, and you'll find out what it's like to have your hair washed with sauce." Chloe's voice was teasing. "You're so fierce, hubby." By the time we sat back down, Chloe was finally acting normal again. Her mind was now completely preoccupied with me calling her wife, the word echoing in her head over and over. Noah looked at us. "What happened? You went to get sauce, but it looks like you were flirting." "This girl, Chloe, she must feel like she has something on me now." I thought with a smirk, "You wouldn't understand the joy of getting something for free." "Yeah, right, getting a wife for free." I really wanted to hit her. Noah was confused. "For free?" "We paid for the sauce, it was $7 per person. I need to go get another bowl to get my money's worth." Just as Noah left, Sean and Olivia returned with the bubble tea. The food was mostly served, and the pot was hot. Olivia sat down and complained, "Oh my God, it's so hot." That bubble tea shop was packed. Sean handed out the drinks. When he gave one to Chloe, he thoughtfully inserted the straw for her. I glanced at Sean, finding that straw incredibly annoying for some reason. With a pop, I pierced my own bubble tea and took a big gulp. Chloe was already putting food into the pot with her chopsticks. Noah and Olivia also returned with their sauces. Olivia, seeing Sean wasn't moving, asked, "Sean, aren't you getting any dipping sauce?" Sean smiled. "Nah, I'm not a big fan of this stuff. You guys go ahead. I'll just grab a bite downstairs later." Olivia nodded, as if she had only asked casually, and didn't press him further, digging into her own food. My bowl was already piled high. "Chloe, eat your own food. There's no more room in my bowl." Chloe picked something from the spicy broth, dipped it in sauce, and ate it in one bite. "I know, hubby." I quickly pinched her. Seeing that no one was looking, Chloe leaned close to my ear, her voice laced with amusement. "Go ahead and touch, hubby." I flinched, my ears turning bright red. I think I had just pinched her thigh, the inner thigh at that. If I had gone any higher, I suddenly felt a rush of blood to my head.